Dear Bhagavan, we pray to you to seek your guidance to deepen our understanding and broaden our thinking. Swami, with your divine blessings, may the skills that we develop from this workshop be used to aid us all in our daily lives. Today's session will be facilitated by Brother Sunil Hasmukharay from Malaysia. Brother Sunil is an international speaker and is among the youngest certified solution-focused coaches in the world. He is regarded as a strategist and thought leader in developing solution-focused and strength-based leaders, shaping talents and empowering workforces in organizations. He is currently the head of special projects with the National Youth Wing of Malaysia and is the secretary of the Friendship Group of International Services. He has also led various major programs with the organization, such as National Honor Our Parents Every Day program in 2012 and the Asian Human Values Drama Festival in 2013. Brother Sunil, the floor is all yours.
Sairam, dear brothers and sisters, I am indeed very happy and humbled to be here to share with you on some very powerful and practical tips for you to be able to overcome your self-limiting beliefs. In this workshop, we will be covering some important components, which includes, firstly, understanding what self-limiting beliefs are. Next, being able to discover how our powerful and sincere intentions can help us form positive habits. We will share with you also a very interesting and a proven framework to overcome your self-limiting beliefs. And finally, as you end this session today, we hope you will be able to establish your own personal action plan. Brothers and sisters, moving on, let us start with a very interesting quote. Just like what Swami has shared with us, we have got a master called Lao Tzu who said, "Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. And watch your character, because it becomes our destiny." Brothers and sisters, the thoughts that we have in our lives are going to form into actions, habits, our character, and finally become our destiny in life. And therefore, it is really critical for us to be able to be aware of our thoughts, to be able to ensure that the thoughts that we have are positive and absolutely not self-limiting. Before going on, let me help you understand and define what limiting beliefs are. In the next slide, you will find limiting self-beliefs are those that constrains us from truly achieving our goals, from truly understanding, discovering, and unleashing our own potential. And these self-limiting beliefs are most of the time about ourselves, about our self-identity, and about who we believe we are. Brothers and sisters, the greatest challenge that we are having as young adults today is having limiting beliefs, simply because in the next slide you will see these limiting beliefs are what is hindering us from truly being able to perform at our 100% potential. Brothers and sisters, before I go on to share with you more, let me narrate a very interesting story that is actually a conversation between a camel and a calf. And in this conversation, I will refer the camel as the mother and the calf as the child. The calf is having a very good evening conversation with the mother, and the child is now asking the mother, "Mother, mother, why is it that we have got so strong, powerful legs?" And the mother is so happy to be able to answer this question, and the mother says, "My child, we have got long, strong legs because we have to walk in the desert for hours and hours. For miles and miles we have to walk in the desert." The child was really happy to know that he's been born with capabilities to be able to walk miles and miles in the desert. Next the child asks, "Mother, I have another question." "Yes, my child." "Mother, I have observed a lot of our sisters and friends go into the shops, into the shopping malls, and buy fake eyelashes today. And they use the glue and stick them on. However, we are born with such long, beautiful eyelashes. Why is that so?" The mother says, "Oh, my child, we are born with a very beautiful eyelashes simply because we need that to protect our eyes as we walk through the desert, especially during the sandstorm." The child once again was absolutely wowed by the benefits and by the grace of God, the kind of ability it has been born with. Then the child, very curious, asked the mother the next question. "Mother, I observe many people today in the world are struggling to have a beautiful body figure. I am one of them, just to share with you, brothers and sisters. However, we are born with such a beautiful hump, and could you please enlighten me, why do we have this?" The mother so happily says, "Oh, my child, we are born with a hump because we will need to store water. As you know, in the desert, water is really a scarce resource, and we only get water after many miles of walking at the osmosis." The child was absolutely stunned with the explanation that was given, so simple, so logical, yet so powerful. However, this explanation started to disturb him, and the child now says, "Mother, I am now a little bit disturbed." "Why is it, my child?" "Mother, if we have long, strong legs to walk in the desert for miles and miles, if we are born with long eyelashes to protect our eyes so that we are safe against the sandstorm while we walk for hours and hours and hours, and we have got a beautiful hump that helps us store water, what on earth are we doing in the National Zoo of Malaysia?" Brothers and sisters, that story of the camel and the calf, it's a very clear representation of how we are. Swami Bhagwan has given us so much of abilities. Swami has blessed us with the best capabilities, abilities, strength, and divinity guidance that we all are born with under His grace. However, we are all jailed in this mind of ours, and this jail is actually the self-limiting beliefs that we have. Let me share with you a couple of examples of self-limiting beliefs, which includes: I can't do it. I just don't trust anyone. Oh no, I'm horrible at money. I'm just horrible at money. Oh gosh, you know what? Relationships just don't work out for me. I've tried again and again and again. The men and the women out there are absolutely not trustworthy at all. Oh gosh, nope. I am not confident. I cannot speak in front of a crowd. I am not a good learner. I just tried. I studied really hard, but I just don't seem to excel. You know what? Nothing I ever do ever works anyway. I give up. Have you ever realized these are some of the conversations we tend to have within ourselves? And sometimes it is so, it is done in such a manner, or it happens in such a manner where we do not even recognize when it is happening. Brothers and sisters, let me share with you when and how the self-limiting beliefs are actually manifesting almost every day in our lives. Let's go on to the next slide. This is some of the ways where self-limiting beliefs manifest. Do we give excuses? Do we complain about things? Do we indulge in negative thoughts, sometimes even without realizing it? How about indulging in unhelpful habits? Or how about talking ourselves into limiting and unhelpful ways? Have you ever jumped into conclusion or made assumptions? Have we ever expressed our fear in the next slide? Are we ever worried about failures? Are we ever worried about taking the next big step because we are fearful? What will the world say? What will people say about us? Are we ever worried about what will go wrong instead of what could go right? How about procrastination? I am one who have procrastinated submission of a lot of my research material, documents, paperwork in the past. And I find a lot of all this that I've shared with you, brothers and sisters, are coming from my own personal experiences. There are times I tend to want to make sure any document I prepare, any material I prepare are so perfect. And in the process of wanting perfection, I tend to realize I am always being delayed. Brothers and sisters, I wonder if you ever have reflected on this kind of thoughts that are subconsciously running your mind and indirectly controlling our lives. This self-talk, brothers and sisters, are basically the act or practice of talking to oneself either loud or silently and mentally. In the next slide, we will show you the two kinds of self-talk. The first self-talk is the positive, reassuring, empowering. An example of this would be, Sunil, you can do this. Give your best and leave the results to Swami. Oh wow, this is going to be easy. I have prepared, I've studied hard. I'm going to be able to deliver in my exams. These are some of the examples of positive and reassuring and empowering self-talk. Negative self-talk are generally very constraining. They make you feel low, and indirectly we tend to feel the low self-esteem in ourselves. Example of negative self-talk would include, I can't do this. This is way beyond me. I put in lots of effort, but I'm never getting appreciated. Nope, I am not doing this anymore. Brothers and sisters, some of the most common self-limiting beliefs that I am sure you and I have experienced at some point of time in our life. In the next slide, we would show you the common self-limiting beliefs that we have. I can't tell the truth because if I tell the truth, I'm going to be judged. I don't like the idea of being judged. I don't give any more ideas to my bosses. You know why? Because they just don't listen. I've been giving them lots of ideas, I have lots of strategies, but nope, it never gets executed. I don't want to ask. I just don't want to ask for whatever I want in life because I am afraid of being rejected. I don't trust people because I have repeatedly been betrayed, be it in friendship or be it in relationships. I cannot pursue my dreams because I don't know what I'll do if I were to fail. Oh no, I have tried. I've tried so many times. It has not worked. I am not wanting to fail once again. I have put in lots of effort before, but I was never appreciated. I'm not going to waste my time anymore. Brothers and sisters, at this moment, I would like to request you to share with us in the chat box some of the self-limiting beliefs that you have reflected and experienced in your own life. Please feel free to use the chat box and share with us some of the common self-limiting beliefs that you have observed either in yourself or within the people that you spend your time, your loved ones with. I'm afraid to other people, Sister Dina. Abina, fear of failure. Lack of self-confidence. Earlier, I'll be very reluctant to voice out things and take initiatives. These are really true examples of how self-limiting beliefs hit us. Severe motivation problem due to negative comments and work. Trusting of people, Sister Nina. Fear of what others will think. Lack of self-confidence, afraid to express myself. Lack of self-confidence. Indeed, brothers and sisters, Sarja, that I am not good at my work. Thank you everyone for really opening up and sharing with us some of the real self-limiting beliefs that you and I have. And let me tell you this, let me assure you, brothers and sisters, all this are not true. All these are perceptions that has been formed over the years in your minds because of challenges and past experiences. Sadima, it will be very hard to do. What do others think if the execution goes wrong? See, it's always about the concern of what others will think or how will we be perceived. Sanjay, wash my worries away. Thank you. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for sharing and open up your concerns, which are really very true. All of us go through this, and trust me, many of the self-limiting beliefs that you have shared are happening even in my life. I have personally experienced many of this, the fear of being judged, the fear of worrying of what people may say, the fear of sending a wrong message, the fear of not being able to convince someone, the fear that I'm not good enough. Brothers and sisters, let me take you back to what Swami has told us, and this comes in a very beautiful thought, beautiful quote that Swami says, react, reflect, and resound. Brothers and sisters, our minds are just like an LCD projector. Whatever information is fed in is what is going to be projected on the white screen, which is our life. If you pump your mind with positivity, if you pump your mind with constant positive thoughts, what will come out is positive. And then what you will find is your life is becoming more and more positive, more and more exciting, and more happier. Brothers and sisters, let me give you an example or two with regards to how this is affecting us in our life, how this process actually happens. Because we are fearful, we will not be able to deliver and achieve our fullest potential, which would lead to us experiencing failure, experiencing things that we are not happy about, experiencing painful moments in life. These painful moments in life will now form a set of interpretations, generalizations, and conclusions, which will now form a new set of belief, which will slowly start skewing your thinking process, and a lot of the decisions that we make will start to become based on fear. These fear-based choices will make us jump into actions which will be unfavorable and which will not deliver what we truly want. And this process will go on and on and on in our lives. Moving on to give you an example in friendship and relationships. Brothers and sisters, how often is it that you have really trusted your friend? How often is it that you have trusted your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend? And the trust is broken. The trust that you have given is broken by actions, by words, and by thoughts of the person. And this now makes you feel that, my God, I can't trust this person anymore. And then you move on. The next person you get to know, you become close to, and pop, there you go. Yet another incident where trust is going to be broken. And when this happens, the thinking process that we have, the formation of self-limiting belief is going to become stronger and stronger to tell us, you know what? I just cannot trust anybody. Everyone that has walked into my life has seemed to want to cheat me, has seemed to want to play with my feelings, have seemed not to appreciate me, and this goes on and on and on. And it's because of that, every time that we meet someone new, we are no longer authentic. We are no longer being ourselves. We no longer give our 100% commitment towards that friendship or be it relationship. And then more and more painful experiences, and thus the cycle continues and continues and continues till one day you decide consciously to make a difference, to break this cycle. Let me take you to another very interesting example, which is a performance either at studies or performance at work. How often is it that you have spent 12 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours working really, really hard in the office, and then when the performance appraisal comes, you just get meeting expectation. You do not get the performance bonuses, you do not get the increment that you truly deserve, you do not get what you worked hard for. And now this experience will form a new set of beliefs that I am not good enough. I am not going to be ever able to deliver what my boss wants. I am horrible, I am useless, I am hopeless. And then this experience will continue one after the other. Brothers and sisters, let me take you to another very exciting example about something I am very sure you and I are really working towards, which is living a healthy lifestyle. How often do we tell ourselves that yes, we better start taking care of ourselves, we have to eat healthy, we have to exercise, we must spend quality time with our loved ones and live a very happy and a balanced life. However, work takes over, performance takes over, business takes over, money making takes over, and we find that we are not able to truly live this healthy lifestyle that we really desire. Brothers and sisters, challenge your self-limiting beliefs, because I'm telling you today, 99% of them are absolutely not true. 99% of the self-limiting beliefs in the next slide you will see are actually not true. These are just thoughts that has been formed in the mind over the years with the bad experiences that we have all gotten. Next, I would like you to share, what is that only one thing that is stopping you from achieving your fullest and 100% potential? Brothers and sisters, in the chat box, I would appreciate if you could share with me, what do you think is the answer? What do you think is that one thing that is really stopping you from achieving your 100% potential? Laziness, okay? My own thoughts, myself, not putting 100% efforts, the fear of making mistake, comfort zone, lack of self-confidence, my mind, not open up to all, lack of commitment, time mismanagement, faith in Bhagwan. Well said, Brother Sanjay. Self-doubt and time management, Sister Divya. Right. These are some very, very good input. But the answer that we have is what Sister Zarja gave. Mindset. Self-doubt. Okay. So the answer, brothers and sisters, that is what we are looking for is the word mindset. It all starts with our mind, because let me take you back to the first quote which we started this workshop with. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become action. Watch your action, they become habits. Brothers and sisters, it is the thoughts that are created in our mind that will eventually lead to become our habits. Intentions is something that we must set. In the next slide, you will find that the power of intention is so strong because you can co-create your world. You can create the success that you really desire. You can create and achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. Brothers and sisters, let me share with you, what do we mean by intentions? In the next slide, you will find intention has got two major components. We are so blessed to have Swami in our life. All we need to do is set our goal, have a pure mind, and surrender to Swami, because Swami has repeatedly said, I am always there to be there for my youths. I'm always there to help my devotees. Surrender your life and I will take over. And you cannot just surrender and not do anything. And the second component is 100% efforts. If we have a pure intention, we surrender it to Swami and we put in 100% efforts, which is going to help us achieve our goals. Once again, let me quote what Swami has said all the time. Swami has said, if you take one step towards me, I will take 100 steps towards you. Where do we get such a wonderful blessings other than from Swami himself, that we just have to take one step towards Bhagwan and Bhagwan will take 100 steps towards us, because Bhagwan has also said, brothers and sisters, give up all bad qualities, banish the ego and develop the spirit of surrender. Only then we can experience bliss, and this you will see in the next slide. Give up all bad qualities, banish the ego and develop the spirit of surrender, and then we will experience bliss. Brothers and sisters, the only way forward, my apologies, in life, it's to stop the self-limiting beliefs. Brothers and sisters, let us now make a decision that we are going to stop having these negative thoughts. We are going to stop having these self-negative beliefs, and in the next slide is where you may want to make that firm decision. Brothers and sisters, how do we define positive habits and how do we define limiting habits? In very simple words, positive habits are those that will help you get closer and closer to your goals. Be it personal goals, be it relationship goals, be it spiritual goals, be it work-related goals, any goals that you have set in your life, positive habits is going to draw you closer and closer to that goal. And limiting habits, it's what's going to do exactly the opposite. It's going to take you further and further away. At this point, I would like to share with you that the self-beliefs or any form of habits in the next slide will only take 21 days. Yes, brothers and sisters, only 21 days are needed to form a new belief, a new habit, and you can choose whether to create positive habits or keep living and continuing the negative habits that are already there bothering you. Brothers and sisters, in the formation of these habits, there are three main components which are in the next slide. The three main components of the loop of habits starts off with a trigger, leads on for us making an action, and then leading us to getting a reward. Let me give you two examples. First being, imagine your alarm goes off early in the morning and you actually wake up at the first ring of the alarm and you do not snooze the alarm. The action then will come, which is to get ready, shower, do your prayers, do your meditation, and the reward will be you have enough time for a hearty breakfast, a safe drive or travel to work, and start your day in a very positive, inspiring, and a happy manner because you are not rushing to work. On the other hand, if the goal is to live a very healthy lifestyle, if the goal is to live a very healthy lifestyle, imagine now a packet of Lay's potato chips that comes right in front of you. And this Lay's potato chips serves as a trigger. And because you are triggered, you will now go and start eating these chips. And because you start eating these chips, the reward is you are going to be able to feel good, you enjoy the chips, and slowly you will tell yourself, oh wow, the chips was amazing, I'm going to have another packet. And this process will go on and on and on. Brothers and sisters, there is absolutely our choice in managing our life and managing our habits. So let me help you define what positive habits would look like. Positive habits are behavior that is beneficial to one's physical or mental health. And this is often linked to high levels of discipline and self-control. Behaviors that encourage inspiration, helping others and ourselves. And at the end of the day, positive habits are things that will make you and me better people in life. So at this moment, I would love to invite you to please share some of the positive habits that you have personally discovered and reflected that you apply in your life. Start the day by making your bed. That's amazing, Brother Nathan. Waking up early every day, very true. World leadership gurus and motivational speakers have also shared the same, like Robin Sharma has got this 5 a.m. club. Think of Swami and thank him for all the good days and beginning and end the day. Morning yoga and meditation, being true to yourself, single-mindedness, daily prayer, Hanuman Chalisa every morning. Wow, that's amazing. Playing every Sunday harmonium in Kirtan. Wonderful. Thinking positive all the time. Greet everyone with a smile. Try to never give up. Always do the best. Being positive. Namasmarana, chanting 21 ohms. And Gayatri at least 9 times. Wonderful, brothers and sisters. This is so amazing. Serving others, yes. Devoting our life to doing seva and being an instrument to serve mankind, like what Swami has said. Alright, wonderful. We have got lots of positive habits that you are sharing. Let us go on and let me help you define and understand what limiting habits will be like. Limiting habits, in very simple words, are the ones that will affect our physical and mental health. And this is often linked to the low level or absolutely no discipline, which is also due to the severe lack of self-control. And these bad habits will harm ourselves and could also possibly harm other people. In very simple words, bad habits are things that will destroy you and me, brothers and sisters, in the long run. So at this moment, very quickly, we would like to hear from you. And in the chat box, we'll appreciate if you could share with us some of the limiting habits that you have recognized in your own self. Feel free to share because we would love to help you break these limiting beliefs and achieve greater success. Brother Puneet, smoking, right? Fear of failure, being lazy at work, social platform, one of the greatest disaster that's hitting mankind today. Eating chocolate every day, something I love to do too. Going for perfection, fear to express, fear of not being able to please everyone, lack of self-confidence, eating junk food. They are just so delicious. We love to do that. Overthinking everything, very true. Excellent. Thank you so much for this wonderful. Being angry in traffic every day. I guess something we can't avoid. Being stuck for hours in the jam. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters, for your active participation so far. And let us now go on to helping you realize that 40 to 45% of our everyday decisions are based on our habits. Every time we have to make a decision, the automatic behavior that comes off are actually from our habits. Brothers and sisters, then the question comes in the next slide. What can we do about it? But before I go on to sharing with you the formula, I'll appreciate if you could please take a piece of paper or bring your diary out, and on that piece of paper, just write down very, very clearly a few self-limiting beliefs and a few habits which you would like to change. Alright, brothers and sisters, it is definitely time for me to share with you that it is an opportunity that we can reset our lives. This is an opportunity for us to start making changes to what we truly want in life. In the next slide, we will be able to share with you that once you start taking the path of breaking your self-limiting beliefs, you will be able to achieve what you want. You will be able to slowly start unleashing your true potential and being able to achieve all your aspirations and goals. Brothers and sisters, let us now introduce to you the 4D framework. This 4D framework starts with the very first D, which is decision. Brothers and sisters, it is no use being aware that I have got gaps, I don't know this, I don't like to do that, and having a very clear image of all the kinds of negative beliefs you and I have. You have to make a decision, a conscious decision that you would like to make a difference, you would like to change the way you live life, and you would like to now start achieving all your dreams and goals, because I'm telling you, it is possible. Brothers and sisters, the first D is to make a decision. Next slide. The 3 ways to change this will be step number 1, making a decision. Number 2, ensuring the desire that you have is very, very strong. Because if you make a decision, yes, tomorrow I will start waking up on time, and next moment you find that you're snoozing the alarm all the way, it's not going to help. The desire must be very, very strong, and you must be able to make a resolution that this is the only way forward. Brothers and sisters, many a times people ask me, Sunil, I really want to achieve it. I really have the desire. But hey, you know what? I really don't know how to do it. I really don't know who can I count on. And that's where, brothers and sisters, if I may take you to the next slide, maybe you could share first some of the creative ways that you wish and you can sustain your desires. Very quickly, if you could share with us in the chat box, please. Take baby steps. Very well said, Sister Shalu. One method that really has worked for me while you all come and share on the chat is having a support system. having, family that supports your vision, having friends that support the dream of yours, and they will constantly remind you of it. Very well said. Constant reminder every morning about your desire. Think about the result of indulgence and realize that it's not worth. Conscious awareness. Doing it again and again every day. Sometimes you have to run before you learn how to walk. Right? Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone, for your input. Right? Brother Nathan, discipline with a smile. All right. We will go on to share with you the second D, which is the direction. It is great to have made a decision, but what is even more important is to set the direction. And setting the direction would mean, in the next slide, we have very clearly helped you define what directions would mean. Directions are actions and choices that we make, which will take us closer and closer to our goal. Brothers and sisters, having made a decision but not having a clear direction, it's going to be very difficult. Moving on. The fourth D. So we started with decision, then we went on to direction, and now the third D is actually discipline. Discipline is something so important that even our beloved Bhagwan has repeatedly reminded us in many of his discourses on the importance. The one that really came across very strongly to me is Swami's quote in the next slide, which reads, "Discipline is essential for success of every endeavor of men, whatever the field, whether it is economics, social, education, or merely material and worldly. It is even more essential for success in spiritual efforts." Swami mentioned this in Summer Showers 1996 in April. Brothers and sisters, what is really important is for us to finally realize, by having a very clear, concrete decision, a clear direction, strong discipline, and finally you will be able to achieve the fourth D. And the fourth D is your destination. So the 4D framework, such a simple framework, yet so powerful. Decision, direction, discipline, and destination. Let me share with you my own experience leveraging and making use of this framework. I worked in Petronas, which is the national oil and gas company, for about 10 years. However, having run the rat race of life for nearly 10 years, or actually exactly a decade, I told myself I cannot go on like this. I was no longer happy serving the corporate world. I found it a real rat race of life, and I was very excited to own a startup. And at this point, I had lots of self-limiting beliefs. I had so much of fear in me, whether will I be able to do it. But what I did is I had set my mind and I set my end goals. Like Stephen Covey says always, begin with the end in mind. In the next slide, I'll just share with you very quickly how these 4 Ds were applied in my own experience. So the questions that were running my mind, the worst was, can I ever survive as an entrepreneur? Am I good enough? Will people want to hire me and the services that I provide? And all those fears were in me. About 5 years back, while working in the organization, I made a conscious decision that I want to have my own startups and I want to work for my own organization. I went on to set the direction, which meant I made lots of choices. I did a lot of actions that would help me get closer and closer to my goal. And I was very, very focused that at the end of my 10 years working with Petronas, I will definitely tender my resignation, and I've already owned a fairly stable startup. It took a toll, to be very honest, and that's where discipline came in. I had to work over the weekends, I had to work after office hours, I had to go and do lots of free trainings and coachings and facilitations just to gain the experience and the confidence to also get certifications to add on to my credentials and start building a small clientele base based on proactive behavior. And today, Swami, with Swami's blessings and the support of my beloved parents and sister and my family friends, I've been able to successfully start my own startups doing training, coaching, and consultancy, and something that I feel that each and every one of us can achieve any goals that we have set in our lives. Brothers and sisters, I would love to invite you at this point to please use the 4D framework and really experience transformation in your life, because it is possible, because you can do it, because you are destined to do it, and because you and I have Swami holding our hands and walking through this journey of life with us. In that piece of paper, brothers and sisters, maybe you would want to define now what is the decision you wish to make. Next, what are some of the actions that you would like to undertake? What sort of discipline you would like to put in place? And finally, what is the end result that you are really looking for? I humbly request you to write this down very, very clearly, put it on a nice piece of paper, preferably even laminate it, and put it up in a place that is very visible. And once you keep seeing this 4D framework with your personalized action items in it, I am confident that you will be able to start working towards your goals and dreams in life. I would like to conclude this webinar, brothers and sisters, by reiterating two very important points. First, set your intentions right, which means let us have a very clear vision of what you really want and then surrender to Swami. But don't forget, 100% efforts by us is equivalently important. And the second is the 4D: decision, direction, discipline, and finally enjoy the fruits of your effort by reaching your destination. Brothers and sisters, I will end this webinar by quoting you what Swami has always said about surrender. In the next slide, you will find Swami define what true surrender is. Irrespective of what happens, think of it as a God's gift. In any situation, be it joyous or sorrowful, always tell yourself, this is good for me. While you now embark on this beautiful journey of transformation, while you embark on this journey of setting new habits and new goals, you may find along the way challenges will come. Some of the goals will not be achieved. Remember, it is Swami and Bhagwan who is there making sure what is best for you and me. With that, my dear brothers and sisters, I wish you all the best as you now move forward in resetting your life, resetting your habits, unleashing your true potential, and discovering the bigger goals and aims that you have in life. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you so much, Brother Sunil, for sharing those tips on how to identify negative self-talk and overcome its impact through creating positive habits. I'm sure all of us have learnt something from this session. If you are attending this session as a group, could you please put down the number of people attending in your group in the chat box? We will now move on to the question and answer section of this workshop. Please type any questions that you have related to what we have been discussing today into the chat box. Please note that we will only have time for 3 questions. Okay, so we've received our first question. What does it take to remain disciplined?
All right, thank you very much, brother, for the very good question. I think this is a question that many of us are probably struggling with. To me, in order to remain disciplined is to be able to focus and be very clear about our vision. If the vision is very clear, it must be crystal clear, then you will find that you will continue to do what it takes to get you there, because the fire within you to really achieve those goals and this vision is very important. So to me, the virtue of having a very clear goal, a very clear vision, and ensuring that you keep going there all the time is where you will remain disciplined and you will hold yourself true to all the actions that can help you get to the destiny you have set for yourself. I hope that helps you, brother.
Okay, it doesn't look like we have any more questions, so thank you once again, Brother Sunil. We'll just share a few details before you all leave of the next upcoming workshop that we have. So our next workshop is on October the 28th with Sister Shruti Vijayakumar, titled Time Waste is Life Waste, Maximizing Productivity. It will be covering some key topics including time management, saying no, and delegation. We recommend that if you have not already, to like the Cy Young Adults page on Facebook or Instagram to be notified of the workshop details. Registration for this workshop has officially been opened. We will be sending out an email in the next few days with the next workshop details, as well as a feedback form. And we would really appreciate it if you could all take the time to fill out the form to ensure that we can continue to improve and deliver relevant workshops to you.
Sairam, sister. There is a very interesting question that Brother Nathan has asked. I had 3 months ago a terrible accident and I can't understand the meaning or how can I stay positive. Brother, let me share with you, in June 2014, I did not sleep for 4 nights, and at the end, I ended up in a horrible accident, an accident that absolutely destroyed the car, but I came out with God's blessings absolutely unhurt. But that trauma that I went through was extremely scary. That trauma took me about 3 months or so to recover. And from then I realized that Swami is there. Swami is the one ensuring either something happens to us for the good, or something that even happens which we feel is bad actually has a real, true, good reason behind it. My sincerest suggestion to you, brother, is to always look on the brighter side. I can understand the pain and agony you would have gone through when you met with that accident, but remember this, there are so many people who are far worse than you. There are people who are born absolutely not being able to move. There are people who are now born with no hands and legs, yet they are able to live their life to the fullest, like Nick Vujicic, for a good example. Brother, remain positive, because one thing you must know, you have God Swami. Surrender to Him. Tell Him to take charge of your life. Tell Him to help you walk through. And I'm very confident Swami is listening to this conversation, and Swami will definitely be there blessing you and showering His love to you all the time.
Okay, thank you, Brother Sunil, for that final question. We'll close today's session with 1 Om and 3 Shantis. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Sairam.